Hey, what's up, guys? Hanka back again, hanging out with you guys. Faygoluvers in the house. We just wanted to jump in here and give you guys an interview with the one and only Vampiro. What's up, brother? How are you?
I'm good, man. How you doing?
Surviving, man. Getting through the crazy world that we're in right now.
Yeah, I tend to think that it's a serious situation, but there's a lot of misinformation and overhype, and I just hope that everybody can find the mental strength to read between the lines and not get caught up in the hype.
Absolutely, man. There is a lot of misinformation out there. So for anyone that's out there, double check, make sure you're fact checking, stay safe. It's going to be a crazy time that we're in.
Yeah, it's going to be a crazy time. Focus on yourself, making yourself better, and that light's going to project, and other people are going to follow suit. So just calm the fuck down.
Yeah, for real, man. Well, we're here today, man. I wanted to talk to you about your new band,
Yeah, sure.
Vigilante. What can you tell us about your new band?
It's fucking dope.
Hell yeah.
Well, I've first, I'm assuming this is obviously. I'm not assuming. Faygoluvers, thank you for taking the time to even let me be on the platform. You know what I'm saying? And to all the juggalos that even remember my name, thank you, and I appreciate you all watching this. So, the band Vigilante, they used to be it's a hardcore band. I've been into punk rock and hardcore and stuff like that since the late '70s, dude. I was involved in the first wave of the original punk rock movement. So I'm an old dude, but I'm a young fucking dynamo. You know what I'm saying? So
Hell
I've
yeah.
been involved in music way before wrestling. I became a wrestler because I couldn't find the right guys to play in a band. And I just needed to be in front of the people, and then the character took off, and well, it is what it is. They were a band called Rule of Thumb out of Las Vegas, and they were they've done a couple world tours. They've got a couple albums out. They've been around 20 something years. So then they took a break. They reformed, and they were a three piece. They got another guitar player, and then I came along. So we decided to change the name because Rule of Thumb, being that I teach self defense and I do a lot of things with women for domestic violence and anti-bullying for young people in high schools and in colleges and universities. I got a very strong program out. And being that I'm involved in the Guardian Angels, and of course, believe it or not, even the mindset of the Juggalos, you know what I'm saying? Rule of thumb, it's an old English term that means, for those of you who don't know what it meant, you were legally allowed to beat your wife with a stick no wider than your thumb, the rule of thumb. That's kind of where it comes from, the urban legend. And I was like, my whole deal is a different thing, man. I can't promote safety for women who are suffering domestic violence, and we're talking about we can hit them with a stick. So we got to change the name. So Vigilante, being in the Guardian Angels, we've been accused of being vigilantes since our inception, and rightly so. And I totally believe in what is supposed to be a vigilante. But then I said to the guys, we're not going to go out there and get into fights. They like that. I can't do that yet. Yeah. So I said, let's fucking vigilante with the words, vigilante with your mind. Let's be a killer machine. Let's just fucking knock people out with positive alternatives to all the other bullshit that's out there. So that's how the name came about. And we've been playing together for about 8-9 months now, and we've done some cool shows. We've recorded our album. We're doing our videos and stuff. It kind of got put on hold because of the virus, but it's fucking loud, dude. If you like Hatebreed or bands like Terror or Agnostic Front or Sick of It All, mixed in with a little bit of Public Enemy, anything like that that's really, really New York hardcore sounding, or even Body Count, that's kind of what it's like. It's fucking loud, dude. It's loud, and it's just, I've been waiting my whole life for this. So yeah,
Dope,
that's what
man.
it's all about. Yeah, it is dope.
I was going to ask you if it kind of had that New York hardcore style feel.
Oh fuck yeah,
Uh,
100%. That's exactly what I mean. It's like it's for me being in the band. Like I used to go to CBs when I was younger, and I saw all the bands, and I've been involved, like I said, since day one. My first hardcore show was the Dead Kennedys back in the fucking day.
Hell yeah.
And yeah, it's exactly like New York hardcore. It's that vibe, and it's just Yeah, it's in your face for sure. So
Gotcha.
and, yeah,
I
you
was
know.
going to ask you what your influences were, but with that statement, I mean, I guess that's like your New York punk scene, your Dead Kennedys, your Sick of It All, stuff like that.
Yeah, but I grew up. I also, I was my four big bands to this day were, the Sex Pistols, the Clash, the Ramones, and the Stray Cats. I'm a huge rockabilly guy. You know what I'm saying? I'm a rockabilly, and that kind of rock and roll, like the New York Dolls, or there was a band from Canada called Teenage Head that was kind of like, Iggy Pop and all that kind of stuff. That's where I come from. That's my shit. But I'm an aggressive dude, and in wrestling or in the gym or certain mindsets and hardcore would set me off. And yeah, Sick of It All, Agnostic Front. I'm real good friends with Agnostic Front. Those bands, early bands like GBH, Exploited, all that stuff. That does it for me for sure.
Very cool, man. So you were in California over the Juggalo Weekend, February the 17th and such.
Yes, I was. Yeah.
You want to speak on why you were there? What were you doing? Talking to the guys, meeting up with some old friends. What was going on there, man?
I've been sick for a long time, close to 20 years, and I didn't know what it was. And about 5 years ago, I got diagnosed with the beginnings of Alzheimer's and Parkinson's. And I was, like I said, for about 20 something years, because of the concussions and the broken necks and all that stuff, and the prescription drug abuse, because that's what pro wrestling doctors do. They just, and you don't know any better, and then you end up becoming an opiate addict, not to get high, but to go to work. So I wasn't comfortable with my life, and I wasn't comfortable with the way I was with people and not knowing why. And I went through a major depression, and I had 2 strokes. So I left Mexico and I moved to Las Vegas, because Las Vegas is the fight capital of the world. So all these boxers and MMA guys with head injuries, all the top neurologists for sports medicine is there. So I'm on my 2nd year now of intense therapy, and it's working. I'm getting rid of the injuries. My brain's coming back to work, and I'm beating it. So one of the things I wanted to do was reach out to everybody who's been anybody in my life. And if it was necessary, to apologize, or to mend fences, or to say, hey, I didn't know I was sick, so if I've done anything wrong to offend you, I want to say to your face in person, forgive me. And I've had a up and down relationship with ICP over the years, not for any other reason, just because of distances and times. And when you're an extreme guy and you're in a creative thing, and ICP, they're a monster, and they have their vision, their direction, and it's a tough thing. And when you get in a room full of alpha males and the egos start flying, there was never any beef. There was never a problem. I'm pretty sure that if there was ever anything, it was my fault without even knowing it. And I hadn't seen them since the first season of the TV show they did on Fuse. And I just didn't feel comfortable that I didn't get a chance to say, hey, I love you guys, and I'm sorry. So that's why I went.
Very cool, very cool. So it was just kind of like meeting up, double checking, making sure everything was still okay between you guys.
And it was like we never left. You know what I mean? It was the same jokes, the same fucking around. It was the same shit. When you're brothers, it just is what it is. And there's a lifelong bond with ICP, with Joe and Joey, and that's just it, man. So yeah.
Very cool, man. Well, since you were there, are there any plans for you to, I don't know, maybe come back to the gathering of the Juggalos with your band, or is there any kind of wrestling in the future with you at the gathering, or?
All I got to do is ask, and I will be there. I'm kind of out of wrestling because that was where all of these problems came from. So It's like, if you kick drugs, the last thing you want to do is hang out in a drug den. It's like it took me a lot of years to get over the PTSD. I still haven't, but to deal with the the fame that Vampiro had when I was 21, 22, 23, how I'm still alive is a miracle. You know, all my generation are dead, suicides or drug overdoses from the pressure. But Vampiro in Mexico and Latin America and in Europe and in Japan was very Justin Bieberish as far as the fever of the fans. It was the fame of Vampiro is not from the ring. The fame of Vampiro is the hysteria he provoked. I don't know why, but it did. So I had to get away from that drug of that false fame, and it was just too much for me, and I fucking ended up hating it. And I hate the politics of pro wrestling. I think it's evil. I think it's disgusting. I fucking hate it with that. And I'm not supposed to hate anything because of where I am spiritually right now. But I hate it that bad. But I love the fans. I love the excitement of a live event. And I really love being around the guys. Some of them are very close people. So I do it now for fun, from the heart, so I can enjoy it. I don't do it to be Vampiro, the dominating character. I don't need to. I already did that. So as far as wrestling goes, I wouldn't do it unless it meant something. And what does that mean? That means helping somebody, a newer talent that needs guidance, or if a newer talent beats Vampiro, that elevates him. Or if there's an indie promoter or promotion that needs help, I love to go, because I like to be at that creative point where I can give guidance, you know?
Gotcha.
But the Juggalos, you know, we did historic things. We were the first indie promotion ever to go on national television to a major promotion with an indie promotion championship belt and call them out. I did that with ICP. And the Juggalos to this day remember that. How I can't forget that. I have a love. I'm not a Juggalo. Why would I front and insult the movement? But do I support it? Do I fit in? Do I understand it? Do I think it's fucking awesome? Of course. So my loyalty is to the Juggalos 100%. So if I got to be there in any capacity in wrestling, fuck yeah, to hang out. As far as my band goes, I would love to, but one of the things I talked about with Jay is he was like, "Your band is fucking." He said he couldn't believe that was me. He was like, "That's not you. There's no fucking way." And I'm like, "Yeah, dude." And he goes, "There's bullshit." He said, "Because when I wanted to do an album with you, you fucking sucked." And, he said, "But this guy's singing on this band." He said, "Who the fuck?" I said, "Dude, that's me." He goes, "It's fucking devastating." So that meant a lot to me. But he has a point. You know, we're loud, fast, hardcore punk. ICP's audience is a different flavor of music. You know, when I played on the Bizarre Bazaar tour, Suicidal Tendencies opened for ICP.
Yep.
And ICP kicked him off the tour. For whatever reason, I don't know, I don't want to know, and I don't give a fuck, and I don't want to provoke anything, so leave me out of your bullshit, okay? And if it's the wrong thing that I said, fuck you, I don't care. But the point is, we're like Suicidal Tendencies to the T. So I don't know if the Juggalos would accept my band with ICP. So I wouldn't want to offend anyone. So if the Juggalos hear the music, they see the videos, they want to see the band, I will play. They want us to tour with ICP, that's up to ICP. So ask them. You know what I mean?
Very cool. But you're open and willing if they're willing to act.
Dude.
You're open and willing.
Of course. Why wouldn't I be?
Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah. But we got tours planned. You know, we got our own shit going on. We got European stuff booked. We got stuff with Balzac in Japan.
Very cool.
Yeah, we got a major Latin American tour coming up. We're talking to the guys in Sepultura to open for them. It's a heavy duty thing, man. So it's gonna go. I just would love to be with the Juggalos because I feel in one way or the other that's my people.
Very cool, man. That was one thing that I had always wanted to talk about if I ever got the chance to talk to you. And I think I've spoke to you in passing at like certain gatherings that you've been to, but it's never been like a sit down like this.
Right.
So, yeah, one of the things I wanted to ask you about Vigilante is, does it take anything? You said it's a hardcore style band, but does it take anything from your other band or build upon it? Dracula? Does it build upon it or perfect anything that was in that band?
Well, that band, the way you pronounce that is Drak Fola.
Dracula.
Drak, the F is silent. Drak,
Gotcha.
and it's one word, Dracola.
Hmm.
That's a Celtic saying. That is the original saying for describing a vampire.
Okay.
Dracfola, they used to use in Ireland when communities would fight against each other. Gypsy boxing, Irish travelers, things like that. And they would say they have Dracfola, which meant tainted, dirty blood. So a vampire being undead, he is Dracfola. He's dead, dirty blood. So that's where that name comes from, and it's an awesome name. Dracfola was more industrial, kind of like Ministry. We didn't have a drummer, and we had an electronic drummer, and we had two guitar players that were from famous Mexican alternative bands. So it was kind of like Slipknot with an electronic drummer. Okay. Does it take anything from that? No, not at all. This will kick you in the fucking balls and knock you out. This is a
very
different
cool
thing.
Something
Even
completely different.
Yeah, I'm like, holy fuck, guys, we gotta kind of, he said, we're gonna provoke fights with this shit, and they're like, yeah, that's the point. It's brutal. Yeah, it's heavy like Pantera, like that kind of heavy. I've been waiting my whole life for this, so yeah, I can't wait to get out there. Yeah.
Very cool. You said you've got worldwide tours planned, basically, like all over the place, man.
Hardcore's huge. Hardcore's huge worldwide. Right now, it's on a resurgence, but it's big in Europe. It's big in Japan. Latin America is hardcore central, and of course, Canada, United States. But Europe and Latin America, fuck me, dude. That's where you got to be for hardcore.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know this about me, but I moved to Japan, and currently I'm back in the States. But there is a huge scene for hardcore bands, Shinkiba Japan, like all kinds of stuff that I'm all over that. So
we got any hookups over there? Just hook me up with the promoter. I'll get the fuck over there tonight.
As soon as I get back, man, I'm down. We'll stay in contact.
When you email me, make sure you send me all your stuff, dude, and I'll send you some songs tonight, and I want your opinion on it.
Absolutely, man. I'm down to do that. Down to listen to it.
All right.
But yeah, you were talking about. I want to bounce back to wrestling for a second. You were saying that you only want to do something in wrestling if it means something.
Yeah.
Did you ever get a response from Chris Jericho on the Chris Van Vleet interview that you did?
Oh, there's been plenty.
Plenty of them.
Yeah. I think the last statement he made is, "It's never going to happen because I won't allow it."
I don't like that. I don't like that answer.
I do, because I understand Chris Jericho, and I in all honesty, I believe younger wrestlers coming up right now, if they need somebody to emulate or look at as a template for, and the coronavirus is the perfect opportunity to say this. And if Chris Jericho does ever hear it, good. You need multiple streams of income if you're an independent musician or artist or a tattooist or whatever, because if the virus happens and you can no longer do shows, what the fuck are you going to do? And you cannot make a living. You can get by if you're a young man or woman doing weekend wrestling. But once you have a family and you get a little bit older and you've dedicated your life and you choose that for a career, you've got to be careful, because the reality is you're more than likely not going to make the big dollars because you're not part of the club. To get into that club is not easy. Everybody who's on top right now in any of those promotions are either buddies, or they're the cousin, daughter, son, nephew of a second, third generation person who's been there before. So the next 5 to 10 years, it's going to be extremely difficult to get into one of those spots. So you need alternative streams of income. So as far as me, I thought there's so many similarities with me and Chris Jericho. And this is not a negative knock against Chris Jericho, but I was a wrestler who played in a band 27 years before Chris Jericho thought of the idea. We're both from Canada. We both were in Mexico. We're both rock and roll oriented guys. We both, you know what I mean? There's too many similarities there that it's like, it's a fucking done deal. The Vampiro and Sting angle happened because of the face paint. In Mexico, it's Vampiro and Conan. I think this is a storyline that doesn't need creativity. You know what I mean? Because it's already done and it's authentic. And I believe that is one of the problems with wrestling today. Yeah, you watch it because you're entertained and everybody's in on the joke. But if it was Chris and I, people would really believe or would doubt that it's fake. They would think, because there is a little bit of bad blood. There's no hatred. There's just a little bit of, you know, egoism between the two of us. And that would translate to amazing wrestling. But if he doesn't want to do it, fuck it. You know, it's okay. It's all good. I just threw it out there.
I feel it. Yeah, I was watching the Van Vleet interview and I was like, oh man, that's something I would love to see. But I can see where you're coming from. For the newer kids, it kind of does nothing for them. It does nothing for the business at the moment. So
no, and it does nothing for me. So
gotcha.
But if it was something that we could do to do something creatively that would succeed, and we can also help other people along the way, it would be phenomenal. But if it's not, you know, I have zero interest in even contemplating having another run. It means nothing to me.
Gotcha. All right, man. So
but I am going to Japan. I got something cooking in Japan. I got a tour coming up at the end of the year, and if that works, I can't say the company. There's a non-disclosure, but we're talking about a long-term contract. So I love Japan. That's my favorite place to wrestle. And if it happens, I will be seeing you quite a bit, brother.
Absolutely. Arigato gozaimashita, man. I can't wait to see you over there.
Can't say the name, but their colors are like that behind my head. So if you can read between the lines.
I think I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
So you said that you're going to be touring. I guess with Corona being the big talk of the town, nobody knows when touring's going to get back. You know, have you guys thought about doing any kind of like a virtual type concert for the time being, or are you guys going to wait to do something like that way further down the line? Would you guys do something like that?
No.
Okay.
No, because I don't see the need for it, because every insecure motherfucker is doing it right now. And it's like, I'll watch the Foo Fighters or I'll watch Vampiro. I think the Foo Fighters are going to win out. And it's kind of like, hardcore is not a virtual reality thing. The Cro-Mags just did one last week and it was like, ugh. Hardcore has to happen live in a small club. Hardcore needs the pit. Hardcore needs the violence, the volume, the aggression. Hardcore needs the feedback from the fans, so the band gives it's a fucking push-pull, man. And doing that virtually with no people, for what, dude? You know, kill the vibe. But we do have something major planned. One of the things I can talk about is I have a comic book animation series being negotiated right now, and we're definitely coming out with that. Based off of the story that I wrote for this comic book years ago, it includes, there's a music scene. There's a reason for the music scene to be in that. So one of the deals I got with some of the sponsorships that also I can't talk about because we don't want to blow it. We want to wait till the virus passes. We're going to be doing mini festivals. We are, like a Friday and a Saturday. And what we want to do is go to all the towns that there are that no one else goes to. And we want to do like a mini Warped Tour Lollapalooza thing. All local artists. Who gives a fuck what your genre is? Hip hop, rap, country, punk, rockabilly, whatever the fuck. You're going to have a chance to play. Tattoo artists, local artists, vendors. We want to do little mini festivals. And we have the means to do that. And we have enough resources and people behind us to pull that off. Small. On purpose. Keep it tight. Keep it that you can't get in, so you want to get in. That's how Jane's Addiction did it. That's how Jane's Addiction became famous. They wouldn't let anybody into their house parties, and they built up a name for 2 or 3 years. They wouldn't even let the press in. Next thing you know, old Jed's a millionaire, right? Nope. But I want to keep it on that level. That's my dream, is to I could give a fuck about playing in a stadium. I want to get the information out there. And there's so many things in these songs that need to be said to provoke thought in the younger generation. I want to keep it like that.
I like the mental process that you've got in that too, because not only does it help like the bands and stuff that are dealing with, you know, the virus basically shutting down everything, but now you're talking like tattoo artists and local people, you know, like rebuilding a scene basically. Like that's
pretty much. Yeah.
Really cool, man. That's really, really cool.
Yeah, thank you. We're gonna do it on our own. We want everybody to play. If there's 80 bands in one little town, all 80 get to play. I've got some major cool ass sponsorships involved, and one of the brands does all the car shows and some wrestling events and rock shows, and I have a product coming out with them. So because of that, there's 52 weekends booked without even looking for it. So cool. It's going to be an intense thing, and I can't wait to do it. So it's going to be fun. So if you're a Juggalo and, you know, whatever the fuck it is you want to do, stay tuned. Follow me on Facebook, whatever. The word will get out. I'll let Faygoluvers know when it's time, but you're welcome. You're welcome to do it. Just do not bring your fucking hip hop bullshit, fake ass little fucking whiny gangster bullshit to me, because I can knock you out. I will knock you out. Why do I say it like that? Because I don't give a fuck about your beefs and your drama. I just want to give you a platform to be creative and get along. If you want to be a tough guy and you're fucking whatever it is you're doing and you don't agree with me, it's all good. You don't got to come. The door is open, though. Just don't bring the bullshit. Bring the honesty, the transparency, and the accountability, and let us see why you want to be an artist. Win us over. Don't come in there with a fucking attitude and demands, because I will take that demand. I will put on a rubber glove. I will make a fist, and I will stick it so far up your fucking ass I can scratch your eyeballs from the inside. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely, man. I think that needs to be heard.
That's my wrestler promo for the day.
I think that needs to be heard, man. There's a lot of juggalos out there, especially within the past, I don't know, couple years they've been bringing a lot of like drama to our shows. And,
oh, really?
Yeah, and it's like, man, I'm glad that someone's finally speaking up. Like, keep that shit at home. Y'all heard it here from
I didn't know that, man. I mean, what I saw in California was just peace and love. You know what I'm saying? Juggalos are juggalos, right?
Most of the time it is peace and love. It's whenever you, like, the shows are over, it's back to the hotel parties and stuff. Or in California, it just happened to happen on the street outside of the venue.
Right.
But, you know, it needs to be said, man. It needs to be said. Let your anger out and shit in the pit. And,
yeah, that's what it's there for. And it's like, if you're going to wear the uniform, play on the team.
Yeah, absolutely, man. So I'm glad that someone said it, man. Somebody that might be able to get through to some people.
Yeah, and, you know, I'm the wrong guy to push. I'm not a tough guy, and it's got nothing to do with violence. Get fucking educated. Wake up. The times have changed. It's time for unity. Stop the bullshit. That's all.
Absolutely, man. That's what I like to hear, man. Thank you so much. You were just speaking about you've got somebody that you were talking to that might have helped you out sponsor. Is that the partnership that you have with Joey Chaos? Is that something?
No, that's something else. I love teaching, and that was my fame at the gatherings. I would go in there and help the wrestlers.
Yep.
So being that I live in Las Vegas right now, I'm not feeling it. You know what I mean? I'm a Los Angeles guy. I love LA. I became a vampire in LA. I studied my magic in LA. I was baptized into Thelema, which is Aleister Crowley's religion in LA, voodoo in LA. I just got a lot of things in LA that are really important to me. The entertainment industry is there. I got a talk show on the El Rey network. It's called Vampiro Unleashed. It's coming out at the end of April. We shoot that in LA. Yeah. So it's going to be home. Yeah.
Very cool, man. Very cool. Good to hear that. You were talking about touring. Back to touring. Is there any bands that you really, really want to tour with, hardcore wise, juggalo wise? Anybody that sticks out in your mind?
Yeah, I mean, I know there's major beef. And I'm probably going to get in trouble amongst the juggalos who are warring. I give zero fucks about it. I am a fan of Twisteds, and I'm a fan of ICPs. I would love to do a show with either one of them. I'm not involved in their beef. I know I was there. I know exactly how it went down. I was there when it went down. I know what's come of it. I know the feelings between the two parties. That's not my shit. I'm not involved in it. I do not want to be involved in it. I will listen to either party complain about it, but I don't give a fuck about it personally, because I grew up being fans of both of them, and I'm not part of that beef. So I would do that. Hardcore wise, of course, Agnostic Front, I'm sick of it all, Suicidal Tendencies, Hate Breed. But I'm not really looking to ride on anybody's coattails. You know what I'm saying? I'm not interested. I don't need it. The fame doesn't mean anything to me, because I've been wrestling for 38 years. 38 years I've been in the ring. I mean, I've seen big audiences. I've heard the applause. I've got something to say, and I want to fucking rock, and I like to be in the pit. This is my reason for being. So I want to do festivals and invite local artists. I don't want to be, hey, look at me, I used to be Vampiro, but I'm singing in a band. That's not what this is. This is the fucking real deal. And I want to put my time in. I want to be on the. I don't want to come off the road. I'm a single guy. My daughter's grown. She's doing her own thing. I've got no anchors to hold me down at home. I want to be on the road with the volume at number 15, not number 10, number 15. I want to tour, fucking tour, and I want to be on the street involved with the people. So I'd rather not open for anyone. I'd rather do my own thing. I'd rather play for one person and change their life than go up there with another band who just is going to start getting jealous because I'm fucking schooling it and they're not.
Very cool, man. I like it, man. I hope that I can see you come out to either my local spot in South Carolina, or, if I'm back home in Japan, I would love to see you come out there.
100%.
Can't wait to see you out there, man, because that's a whole different kind of crowd.
Yeah, I toured there with Rancid. Check this tour out. And this is in the 2000s. Rancid, GBH, Balzac, and the Stray Cats. That was the tour.
What a tour, man. What a tour.
Yeah, unbelievable. It was punk rock and rockabilly. What's that park in Japan where all the rockabilly guys go and dance with each other? You know what I'm talking about? Have you ever seen that?
I want to say it's Yoyogi, but I'm not sure.
Yes.
Yoyogi Park? Yeah.
Yeah. And they just go and dance.
Yeah.
Fuck. That's the coolest fucking thing I've ever seen. And I go there when I'm in Japan, and I just chill and watch those guys, because I love rockabilly, and I see it, and it's just awesome. So in Japan, what's really cool about it is that a punk rock show, you'll get hardcore, heavy metal, rockabilly kids, hip hop kids, and no one gives a fuck about the uniform. Everybody's on the same page, because music is the original language. And if we're all fighting the system, who gives a fuck what t-shirt you have on? It's what you got in your heart, right? Or your brain. And I love that. And I'm dying to be a part of it. So yeah, I can't wait.
Very cool, man. Well, I just wanted to say thanks for doing this, man. This is super fucking awesome of you to do an interview with us and tell the Juggalos what you've been up to. And I'm just happy that you chose us to do it, man.
Well, I mean, I've been begging for it. I just keep getting blown off, and I was finally like, you know what? Fuck you, Faygoluvers. But I did it in a nice way. Oh, no, your interview's tomorrow. Okay.
I got a message from Scotty. Scotty D, the owner of Faygoluvers, messages me, and he's like, hey, you want to do an interview with Vampiro? And I was like, fuck yeah, I'm stuck in South Carolina. What else can I do? I'd love to do an interview with Vampiro. So. Well,
I appreciate being the one who's broken up your boredom, my friend.
Broken up my boredom and given the Juggalos a lot of cool information about your new band, about what's going on with you and ICP.
You see, can I explain why I love the Juggalos?
Yeah, absolutely, brother.
Yeah, to me, this is something that's never really, and I hope it makes sense. So when I first heard about ICP, I was in WCW. I'll never forget it. I was reading a magazine in my apartment in Mexico City, and it was an interview with Steve Jones from the Sex Pistols, because he was talking about that he had played on an ICP track. And I was like, what the fuck is that? Because I'm a major Sex Pistols mark, you know what I mean? And I'm friends with Steve Jones. And and Steve Jones is the guitar player, right? So I started reading about ICP and the Juggalo movement. And I remember New York City, Lower East Side, when punk rock was starting. I used to be a roadie for Johnny Thunders. I mean, what the fuck, dude? The Ramones and all that. And, you know, obviously when the hardcore thing kicked in, and I was, you know, I was living in Toronto and Montreal, so I would triangle, right? And I would go to all the shows everywhere. And I saw the punk rock movement happen. The Clash, the Sex Pistols, I saw it go down. And even though I was really young, I still was there. So when I read about that, and I was like, this is very similar. These guys, this is like very comparable to the Sex Pistols. The chaos, the fans, the Juggalos dressing like the band. That's what the punk rock fans in England did. They dressed like the Sex Pistols. And then I saw the controversy and the rebellion, and I was like, this is modern day 1977 all over again. This is this generation's Sex Pistols, punk rock, Ramones rebellion moment. Obviously, there's no comparison as far as the musical style, but I saw that and I got so intrigued by the commitment of the Juggalos, because it wasn't a group of fans, it was a national movement. And I was like, I would love to be a part of it because of their dedication and loyalty. That's what attracted me to ICP and the Juggalos, was the Juggalos way before ICP. Then when I went to WCW and ICP was there, I was like, holy fuck, the universe obviously heard that. They're here, I'm here, we're partners, and the rest is history. But and I just told Violent J this when I saw him in LA. I said, to me, you guys are your generation Sex Pistols. What the fuck are you talking about? Forget it. I'm not going to explain this to you for 80 hours. But if anybody really ever wanted to know why, how, when, who, or what it is, that's it. Because of your dedication and loyalty to your commitment to your individuality is what blew me the fuck away. And to this day, I love you for it.
Oh man, we love you too, man. I can say, you know, as a kid, being an ICP fan, watching them on WWF, WCW, ECW, you know, seeing you with them, you know, it started to make us feel like, all right, now we've got another person in our group. You know what I'm saying?
Fucking right.
And
and I will fly the flag till the end.
very dope, very dope. But yeah, you know, whenever I saw you with them, I considered you just like another Juggalo. You were just another brother to us. That's what we all thought, brother.
Well, that's what you should keep thinking, because that's the way it is. Even though I'm not involved, even though I don't see ICP anymore, even though I don't do the shows, it's because they don't ask. They don't, you know, they never invite me. And I'm not criticizing or attacking them. They just don't. So whatever reason, it's all good. The moment they do, I'm there. And I'm there for the fans. That's would be the reason, because the Juggalos, my brothers and sisters, you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely, man. We feel the same way about you, brother.
Dope.
Is there anything else that you want to add? Close out?
Yeah, just check out my Facebook. It's this Vampiro. It's got a blue check. It's the only one. I'm wearing like a cowboy rockabilly shirt with a bandana and the hair is all up. That's my Facebook page. That's where all the information drops. Even the Vigilante stuff drops there. Everything that I'm doing, the online coaching, the programs that I'm going through, the spirituality stuff, everything is there. Everything that I'm doing, my TV show, movie, the whole fucking deal, it's right there. So, and all my social media stuff is there. So it's just Vampiro on Facebook, and it's my only page, and you can't miss it. I think there's 75,000 or something like that people who follow it. It's not the greatest, but it's a lot of love on that page. You know what I'm saying? And I wouldn't trade that page for anything. That's my home now. I'm on that page like 10 times a day. Those people keep me alive. Yeah, so, you know, if you're a Juggalo and you're down, you want to jump on, great. If you don't, it's all good. I'll see you. I'll see you in the pit.
Very cool, man. Well, you heard it here. Check out Vampiro at his Facebook page. Stay tuned to Faygoluvers.net. We're going to be bringing all kinds of cool shit for you soon. And, hey, man, we hope to see you out on the road.
Most definitely, one way or the other. And if you are a Juggalo, come and say fucking hello, man. There's absolutely no way in the world I will not give you the time of day. You know what I'm saying? I will always, 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 always be accessible. That's just the way it goes.
Very cool, man. We appreciate you. Thank you for doing this interview. I'm Hanka. That's Vampiro. Thank you guys for tuning in.
Sorry, it's a bad habit.
All right, man. We will catch you on the road.